Started. All right, we're recording. I want to welcome everyone to our UKON turmeric webinar. So I gotta hold on here a second and I will enlarge these slides so you can see them a little better. There we go. Okay, so hopefully you can see the slides a little better. We're going to be talking about our UKON turmeric, the UKON tea. And the first part of the presentation is going to just be about the product. And then we also, towards the end, we discuss the business and being an UKON distributor. So I will let you know when we get to that part so that if you are only interested in the product, then you can feel free to log off at that time. UKON, in case that I know we have a lot of new people on here tonight. So if you're not familiar with our UKON, it is absolutely a phenomenal product. I am so very thankful that Mr. Oshiro doesn't try to be like the jack of all trades. We do not have tons of different products. There's a very good reason, though, that we have the UKON turmeric. The area in Japan, it's a little bit, if I remember, north of Okinawa, has the best growing conditions on the entire planet for turmeric. And so, I mean, it just made sense. And also, Mr. Oshiro was trying to do something to support the farmers in Japan. So, in addition to the turmeric, we just have our Anespa for the shower, and of course our Kangen water machines. So the UKON turmeric is a super antioxidizing dietary supplement, and it is the world's first soft capsule turmeric, organically grown and produced with Kangen water. And it is so important today, more than ever, that we are buying everything that we possibly can, we buy organic. There are just way, way, way too many chemicals being used on our fruits and vegetables and all these things that are ending up in our bodies that our bodies were never intended for. So I want to encourage you to just go organic as much as you possibly can. Enagic proudly cultivates the highest grade of turmeric and produces their UKON in the facility in Okinawa, Japan. They're well known in Japan for having one of the healthiest and longest living people on the planet. They also have the highest number of living centennials on Earth. And the turmeric that we have is made with spring and autumn turmeric to give 100% pure grade. So we're getting the benefit of both. And I'll show you a slide so you a little bit later on. But what it says here about the number of longest living centennials, Japan is #1 in the world in health and longevity. The last time I checked, the US was number 42, which when you think about it is really pathetic. With all the resources that we have in this country, I mean, we are obviously doing something wrong, and we need to pay attention to what the people in Japan are doing. They're very, very smart. The turmeric plant is scientifically known as curcuma, and it's been used as a traditional medicinal remedy for 4,000 years. The turmeric root contains polyphenols, which are known to reduce inflammation, and it's a natural remedy for many health conditions, including osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, eye inflammation, and it's also been found to be effective against Alzheimer's disease. We didn't have this right away, but we now have turmeric tea, which is super anti-oxidizing and anti-aging. I always perk up when I hear those words, anti-aging. If you're part of the baby boomer group like I am, we are paying attention to anything that is anti-aging. And not that, we're all going to grow old, we're all aging, but why not do it as gracefully as we can and do everything that we can to stay healthy? And I know for myself, I mean, it's not like I'm not trying to see how long I can live, trying to live to 120 or anything. But however long I live, I want to be as healthy as I possibly can. It's really more about the quality of our years. And I also think it's important, Ron and I often talk about this, is the example that we're setting for our kids and our grandkids. Just to try to be a good example to them that just because we're getting older doesn't mean we have to completely fall apart. Turmeric tea has been around for thousands of years. It's a favorite of the people of Okinawa. They have a very low incidence of diseases associated with aging, such as Alzheimer's, arthritis, cancer, and heart disease. There's evidence of the polyphenols contained in the turmeric tea of slowing the process of skin wrinkling, among other anti-aging effects. There's much positive research that suggests that a cup of turmeric tea may protect against Alzheimer's disease by reducing deposits of a defective protein in the brain. And I'm sure you guys are aware of this, because if you're on social media at all, it is almost every single day that I see something new coming out about turmeric. I mean, it is absolutely a phenomenal spice, and it would actually be easier to probably list what it's not good for, because it's pretty much good for everything. I mean, the list just goes on and on. Look at this. Here we go. It's used for heartburn, stomach pain, diarrhea, intestinal gas, stomach bloating, loss of appetite, jaundice, liver problems, gallbladder disorders, headaches, bronchitis, colds, lung infections, fibromyalgia, leprosy, fever, menstrual problems, and cancer. See what I mean? Depression, Alzheimer's, water retention, worms, and kidney problems. Some people even apply the turmeric to the skin for pain, ringworm, bruising, leech bites, eye infections, inflammatory skin conditions, soreness inside of the mouth, and infected wounds. So I wasn't kidding when I said it would be easier. I don't even know if there is anything that it's not good for. Right before we started the webinar, I saw this on a video on Facebook, to make up a mixture to whiten your teeth. I know some people are using just the capsule. They're just squeezing the gel out of the capsule. But I saw somebody that used the gel from the capsule and mixed it with some coconut oil. So I just filled this little container. I mixed, I don't know, I opened maybe 5 or 6 of the capsules and big tablespoon of coconut oil, and make like a paste to whiten your teeth. So, and if you don't like the flavor so much, I mean, you can brush your teeth with that mixture and then, brush it still with your regular toothpaste. But that's a great tooth whitener. Why Kangen UKON? Because of course you could go to a discount store and find cheaper turmeric. But you know that saying, you get what you pay for, and that's pretty much the way it is. What is inside the UKON capsule is a lot more than just turmeric. First of all, there are several very healthy oils: evening primrose oil, olive oil, perilla oil, and flaxseed oil. And there's a very good reason for that. If you do much reading about turmeric, everything says that you must take some sort of a healthy oil when you take turmeric in order for your body to really be able to utilize the turmeric. Well, we don't have to worry about that. Mr. Oshiro made sure that when they manufacture the supplement, the oil is already in there. You're also getting some of the B vitamins, niacin, B1 and 2, vitamin C, vitamin E. It's the synergy of all these ingredients that gives Kangen UKON its unique abilities to work in the body. So it's all of these things working together. So you can also see from this that somebody that's looking at adding the UKON turmeric to whatever other supplements they're taking, they actually might be able to eliminate one or two or maybe even three other supplements that they're already taking because of all these other things that are in our capsule. And I just think it makes more sense to take maybe not so many different kinds of supplements. You know, we don't take a ton of different supplements, but the ones that we take are very, very high quality. They're organic. I think that makes more sense. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the factory a little bit. The factory in Okinawa has been registered with the Food and Drug Administration. So you can see the registration number on this slide. The high level of safety, quality control, cleanliness, and operation of the turmeric factory is affirmed by the FDA's registration. The plant meticulously ensures overall safety, approval of quality products, and surveillance of the circulation of food and supplies. And you can see here, just like when you look at the facility where the machines are made, these guys, I mean, it looks like a medical facility. They have gowns on, they even have their shoes covered, they have their hair covered. So it's very important for the overall quality of the final product. So how is UKON turmeric produced? Step 1, they wash UKON with strong Kangen water. And that would be our 11.5 pH Kangen water. Step number 2, they sterilize the UKON overnight in strong acidic water. Step 3, they remove the UKON skin with ozonated water. Notice there are no chemicals being used. Number 4, they soak the UKON in strong acidic water and sterilize it for 4 minutes. Step 5, the UKON is sliced and heat dried for 12 hours. And then look what you end up with, the world's first Kangen water soft gel capsule. And you even have to love the way that it's packaged. You can see up here in the corner. Individually packaged like that, so you don't pop that capsule out until you're ready to take it. Because as soon as it hits the air, the air has a positive charge, so it's oxidizing. And so, even that is just going an extra step to give us the very highest quality of turmeric possible. We're going to talk for just a few minutes about some of the studies that are being done on turmeric. This one is from the University of Texas, MD Anderson, which is a huge, very well-known cancer hospital. They're studying the anti-cancer potential of curcumin. And I'm going to show you, I forgot to open that website, but I can do that. I want to show you where you can go to find all the different studies that are being done on turmeric, especially if you ever talk to somebody in the medical field or somebody that's, like a scientist, somebody very technical, you'll know where to go to get that information. Time magazine says, can turmeric relieve pain? This is Dr. Scott Haig's opinion. A new clinical trial supports the benefits to people with osteoarthritis who use a unique extract of turmeric. They get pain relief, increased flexibility, and other effects from the turmeric. UCLA's Johnson Comprehensive Cancer Center says the chemical in the spice turmeric kickstarts cancer-killing mechanisms in human saliva. Well, I would say today, with the way the statistics are, we need every possible advantage we can get to prevent getting cancer. To me, I mean, this whole cancer thing has gotten so out of hand. We are now up to where 1 out of every 2 men are going to get cancer in their lifetime, and 1 out of every 3 women. Those are not very good odds. And it's crazy because the American Cancer Society's been collecting money for how many years, searching supposedly for a cure, when most of us know from being involved with Enagic that Dr. Otto Warburg was given the Nobel Prize in 1931 for discovering the root cause of cancer. So if we know the cause and we would remove the cause, we should be able to have the cancer rates going downhill, not continuing to go uphill. It doesn't make any sense because back like 100 years ago, it was less than 10 out of 100 people would get cancer. I mean, it was such a small minority, and now it's just crazy. Cedars-Sinai Medical Center turmeric root derived from the common spice may protect and rebuild brain cells after stroke. Well, that's very encouraging. And here we go from the American Cancer Society. Curcumin, the active ingredient in turmeric, is an antioxidant. Antioxidants are compounds that can protect the body's cells from damage caused by activated oxygen molecules known as free radicals. A number of studies of curcumin have shown promising results. It can kill cancer cells in laboratory dishes and also reduces the growth of surviving cells. So some very, very promising studies coming out. This whole issue here of antioxidants, anything that causes oxidation is going to cause us to age faster. It speeds up the aging process, which often leads to disease. And we're oxidizing just from breathing. The air's oxidizing, some of what we're eating, depending on what you're eating and drinking, or all these things are causing us to age. So we need to take in as many antioxidants as we possibly can. Well, there is no better combination to get the highest level of antioxidants than Kangen water and our UKON turmeric. If you're doing both of those things, you are getting a phenomenal amount of antioxidants. But you need to be doing enough of it. Make sure you're drinking enough water and drinking it fresh from the machine as much as possible. From the Academy of Neurology, curcumin has a potential role in the prevention and treatment of Alzheimer's disease. Here again, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and the lipophilic action improves the cognitive functions in patients with Alzheimer's disease. Here's another word you see a lot, anti-inflammatory. And almost every one of our degenerative diseases that people are suffering from today start out as inflammation in our body. So we need to, again, we want anti-inflammatories, and that's what the turmeric is. And anytime you see a word that ends in itis, like arthritis, bursitis, colitis, itis means inflammation of. So, they're all similar diseases. They just give them a different name depending on where the inflammation is. Well, doesn't it make more sense just get rid of the inflammation? Studies show that turmeric may help fight infections and some cancers, reduce inflammation, and treat digestive problems. And this one is from the University of Maryland Medical Center. So I guess you guys can tell from just these slides that we've gone over that turmeric is good for just about everything. And when you add that with the Kangen water, you are just doing an absolute phenomenal job. Hold on here, we don't want to cancel the webinar. Oh my goodness, I've always thought, oh my word, I hope I never do that, where I hit the wrong button and end the webinar before it's actually supposed to be over. So far, I've never done that. So let's not start tonight. Anyway, you're doing a great job. If you guys are drinking enough Kangen water, taking your UKON turmeric every day, you're getting a phenomenal level of antioxidants. Okay, a couple things I want to show you yet before we cover the business part. In case if you were invited to the webinar by Ron or I, what you're looking at now is our UKON website. If another distributor invited you, they most likely have their own UKON website, which is going to look pretty much like ours. Which Ron will probably type this in for me if he didn't already. Let's see. Our website is www.usakangenukon.com. So the reason I wanted to point this out is there's tons of information on here if you would like to research the product even further. And what I want you to notice is each one of these tabs up here has a video. If you click on the next one, another video is going to pop up. And then if you scroll down on each page, you're going to see a lot more information. Here you can look at the label that is on the turmeric. A lot of great information on this website. And then I want to show you the website where you can find the clinical studies. It is pubmed.gov. Hopefully you can see that, pubmed.gov. This is where you can find all the clinical studies and abstracts and all the technical stuff. So you just type here in the search, type in turmeric, and look at how many results you're going to get. 3,495 results. I mean, this is crazy. There is so much information out there on turmeric. And I mean, it's being studied for so many different things because it's such a powerful spice. And if you want to, you can always narrow your search. So if let's say you would be even talking to like a cancer doctor, you could type in cancer, turmeric and cancer or something like that, and then you won't get as many results, but it'll narrow the search. Okay, and then the last website I want to show you, and then we'll move on to the business, is where you would go to order. Well, you can either order from an UKON website like this, or you can go directly to the Enagic website, and you would click over here where it says store. And then you click down here where you see the UKON. What I wanted to point out to you is you most likely are going to want this DD auto ship program. So you click on that. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows you have an option. Now the $580 is for a 4-month supply for 2 people. Inside this large box are 10 smaller boxes, and each one of those smaller boxes has 100 capsules. So you're getting a total of 1,000 capsules for $580. The label recommends, I think it says 4 or 5 capsules, so that would be enough for 2 people unless you are taking more, of course. But what I wanted to point out is you want to notice down here on the right, there is an A, B, or C to choose from. If you, it always defaults to A. And if you scroll down here, you'll see the UKON A program is 10 boxes, like I just mentioned. So you're getting all capsules. If you choose B, you're going to get all UKON T. If you choose C, you're going to get half and half. So you have that option, what you want your auto ship to be. So what they send to you is a 4-month supply. It wouldn't make sense to be too much shipping to send it every month. So you'll get orders 3 times a year, but you can set it up to pay it monthly. So it's not so much at one time. But also, if you are already a distributor and you have a Kangen water machine, it seems like most people start out that way with the machine. You want to make sure when you order the UKON that you sponsor yourself. So when it asks for the sponsor, you want to enter your machine ID number. That way you'll get a commission back on your own UKON order. And something else I usually forget to mention, but I just happened to think of it, is, especially now that we're going to move into the business, before you sponsor someone on the UKON program, you want to make sure that you have the UKON yourself, or you will not get paid on the other person's order. So just remember that. You have to have UKON yourself in order to benefit from the people under you that are taking the UKON. So let's see here if we have any questions before we move along into the business. Sarah said, will I be able to replay the webinar? Absolutely, Sarah. I will send this out tomorrow. In an email, you will receive the link, because what I do is upload the webinars to my YouTube channel, and then you feel free, you can share it with people or just review it yourself. I actually have a lot of webinars now on my YouTube channel, so you can go to YouTube, just type in my name, Rhonda Gessner, and my YouTube channel will pop up, and you will see that we have we've been doing this for a while now, so there's Kangen water webinars on there, business opportunity webinars, UKON webinars, and then a couple of months ago, we started Monday night training webinars. So you're going to see them on there as well. And you guys are, welcome to share the webinars. That's why we put them out there, so you can share them with your team. And Tina's asking, can we borrow your PowerPoint? Absolutely. I'll just send that along with the recorded webinar. I'll just make it an attachment. This PowerPoint was given to me by Romy Videra. So yeah, we're happy to share any of the information that we have. Okay, so those are the only couple of questions. We are going to then go ahead and move along to the, oh, by the way, hello, Tina. I didn't see you in the very beginning. Tina is also part of the Villanueva team out in Chicago. They're doing an outstanding job. Oh my goodness. All right, so we are going to move along and talk about the business opportunity. So this is the point where if you have no interest in that, you can log off. So I need to go back to my PowerPoint and scroll along here to the business part. And we need to make this bigger. Here we go. This UKON program came out February 1st of 2014. So it's about 2 years ago. Ron and I are so thankful for this program. I really wish they would have had it from day one. It is just an awesome asset to the Enagic business. Those of you that have been with Enagic for a while, you know that, with the Kangen water machines, we have a phenomenal opportunity. And because we're marketing a higher ticket item, a medical device from Japan, we are able to earn much bigger commissions up front than what you would typically earn in network marketing. But before the UKON turmeric, the only residual income we had was from filter replacements. Now we have a second way to develop a residual income. And that just means an income that's going to just keep coming in. You do the work one time and then the income comes in over and over and over. So anyway, that's when the program started. Most people come in, like I said earlier, with their machine first, then they purchase the UKON turmeric. That's not a must. You can become a distributor by purchasing the UKON turmeric. And you will get paid for machine sales, even if you don't have a machine. So it doesn't work exactly the same. With the UKON, if you want paid on UKON turmeric orders, you have to be on the UKON. But it doesn't work the same way with the machine. So anyway, what is awesome about this is, if you notice here, what counts as every 4 months when somebody's order renews, the UKON order renews, it counts as one machine sale. So let's say, you could actually build just an UKON turmeric business if you wanted to. I can't imagine why anybody wouldn't want to also market the machines, but just as an example, most people, their initial goal is to get to 6A, which is 100 machine sales, you and your team. If you had 30 people using the UKON turmeric, at the end of 1 year, you would have credit for 90 sales. So, I mean, this is a phenomenal way to help people get to that 6A level a lot faster. So again, it's showing you here that it renews every 4 months. Now they're using the example that you come in with the machine first, then you purchase your UKON turmeric, and then every 4 months that's going to count as a sale. And time goes by so crazy fast anyway. You might as well be using the UKON turmeric. I mean, after the first part of this presentation, everybody should be taking UKON turmeric anyway. Now the option here with the auto ship and the monthly payment, you saw on the Enagic website, it said $580. That is based on already being a distributor. You get a loyalty, like a member discount of $80. If you are a brand new person and you do not own a machine, then the 4-month supply would be $660 the first time. Now this slide shows sales tax, because in California they pay sales tax on turmeric. We do not pay sales tax here in Pennsylvania. Every state is different, and I don't know what determines that, but it tells you when you place the order, the computer will figure out, well, is this a state that has to pay sales tax or not? If you're going to pay for it monthly, that's how we do it. We actually have 2 orders of turmeric, one in Ron's name, one in my name. We pay $155 a month, and then every 4th month when the order ships out, it's $170. So it's an extra $15 to cover the shipping. And this is just a quick look here at the forms. in case you are outside the United States or Canada. As far as I know, those are the only two countries that can order the UKON turmeric online. Every place else you need to fill out the 3 forms, the order form, the return policy, and if you want to be a distributor, you need to fill out either a W-9 or W-8 if you're in Bermuda. And then you either fax or email the forms in. And the reason for that is because the shipping's different. So it's online. If you place the order online, it's based on shipping within the United States or Canada. Now, the business part, this should look familiar if you are a Kangen water distributor. It's structured pretty much the same. We have the 8-point commission structure, just like we do with the Kangen water machines. And you have the same setup here with your 1A all the way up to 6A. And 1A just stands for 1-point agent. So if you have a distributor on your 1A team using the UKON, every 4 months when their order renews, you are going to get paid 1 point or $40. And you can see how that goes up. So if you have 10 people on your 6A team, you're going to be getting 10 times $240 every 4 months. So I don't know if this may not look as exciting, or it's not as big in numbers as we're used to seeing when we look at the machine sales, but this all adds up. And so I just can't stress enough that you want to be educating your team on the UKON turmeric, and especially distributors. If you're bringing people in that are interested in the business, you want to immediately, as soon as possible, get them started on the UKON turmeric, and so that they teach their people to do the same thing. Because, I mean, over time, this really starts to grow. As your team is growing, it'll grow exponentially. And after a while, you'll be surprised how many turmeric checks are coming in the mail. I mean, we just kind of wonder, how many more people would we have on the UKON turmeric if we would have had it 5.5 years ago when we started. So if you're a little bit newer, you're really at an advantage that you can introduce people right away and get them started on this phenomenal product. So this, is pretty much structured the same way. You see the 2A, you're getting 2 points. When you get up to 10 sales, among your own efforts or your team, you're going to be promoted to 3A. Just like with the machines, 20 sales is 4A, 50 sales is 5A, and 100 sales is 6A. This is just to show you the power of duplication. And this really is phenomenal. And I remember when I started in network marketing, which was a really long time ago. I was trying to think. It was actually 37 years ago. Is that right? Yeah. When I signed up in my first network marketing company that I was with then for almost 20 years, I was so fascinated by this duplication thing. It just blew me away that if you sponsored 3 people, and let's say you just got 3 distributors started on the UKON turmeric, and you simply taught them to do the same thing. So now on your second level, you have 9 people. By the time you get down to your third level, you have 27. Fourth level's 81. Fifth level's 243. I mean, look at the number by the time you're down 8 levels. 6,000 people. And that's just from everybody getting 3. I mean, it's just everybody doing a little bit of work, but it is phenomenal how that explodes the deeper you go. And look at this levels of income that can be generated. And the thing you got to notice here is they're basing these numbers on being your 1A team. So, because look at this, if you have 3 sales times 40, so that's only 1 point. That means these people are all on your 1A team, because 3 times 40 would give you the 120. Imagine if this was your 6A team. So instead of 120, it would be whatever, 240 times 3. So, I mean, these numbers would just be crazy. Now, of course, this is in a perfect world. Not everybody is going to get 3 people. But what if 50% of this happened? And this is why it's so important that we keep our business as simple as we possibly can so that it will duplicate. It's not who you know, but who they know. You never know who you're sponsoring. Somebody sponsored Romy Verdera, JV Pacifico. I mean, wouldn't you love to sponsor a Romy Verdera or an Eli Daffish, Tamia Cologne, Michelle Raley? I mean, or Cynthia Bergani. I mean, that lady's all over the place. So this is what is going to happen over time. And it's the whole thing in network marketing is consistent effort over time. But consistent is a key word. You want to, we talked about this last night on the training, is to figure out, what with the amount of time that you have to devote to your business, what are you going to be doing? And then you have a minimum that you are going to do every single day that you're working your business. We do not do business on Sundays, but you want to have that consistent effort instead of, you get all excited and you do a bunch of stuff, but then a couple months goes by and you don't do anything. You're better off being consistent. Consistent effort over time equals success. And here, the 2 businesses is really what we're getting for the price of 1. And I touched on this a little bit earlier. This is about the last slide here. I just think what we have to offer people, to share with them, is unlike any other network marketing company that I have ever seen. And I have been in this industry, like I just said, for 37 years. I was 21 years old. No, I didn't turn 58 yet. I'll be 58 in June. So it's almost 37 years. I had just turned 21 when I sponsored into my first network marketing company. And like I said, I stayed with that same company for close to 20 years. There is nothing out there that comes anywhere close to what we have in eNagic. These phenomenal upfront commissions that we can earn on these medical devices from Japan. We're not dealing with lotions and potions like I was. If all you have is supplements and shampoos and cleaning products, it takes a lot of sales to make $1,710, like we can make on an SD501 one sale. So we have this phenomenal opportunity to earn the much higher upfront commissions with our machines. And then on the back end, we can make long-term residual recurring income with the UKON turmeric and filter replacements. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that we have the best of both worlds. And on top of that, we talk about this when we do our business opportunity webinar, but eNagic, as far as I know, is the only company that has levels where you are going to start receiving a guaranteed monthly income. I have never in my life heard of a company doing that, no matter what level you hit. And that is a very doable level within about 5 years, 5 or 6 years. The 6A2-3, that's when you start earning $5,000 a month guaranteed. And then you go to -4 and it jumps to $10,000. I mean, talk about an increase. You didn't just go from 5,000 a month to 6,000, you went from 5 to 10. I mean, Mr. Oshiro is so generous in what he gives back to the field. So we'll talk more about that on the business webinar. One last thing I want to say about this is if you are someone that has some pretty big goals, a lot of things you want to accomplish in your life, and you want to generate a six-figure income, with the machine sales, you can do that with 100 people. If you go out and you make a goal and to get to 6A within 1 year, you will have generated a six-figure income. And that's doable. Romy did it in 3 months. We did it in 7 months. It's doable. So that's 100 people it takes, 100 people on your team to generate six figures. In the average network marketing company with the lotions and potions, it takes 1,000 plus people. What do you think your odds are in any other network marketing company of generating that type of income? I would have to say probably slim to none. I wasn't able to do it after 17 years with the same company. The most I ever made was $50,000 a year in 17 years. 1,000 plus people is a lot of people, especially considering in those type of companies, there's always a lot of people falling off the back end as fast as you're bringing people in the front end. That's very difficult to do. I love that we can show people a business where they can do this on a full-time basis in a relatively short period of time. They can become a 6A and generate full-time income. That's very hard to do with any other company. So Ron and I are just so passionate about what we're doing because it has absolutely, this company has changed our lives. We started strictly to drink the water, but the products have changed us, have changed our health, and the business has changed our wealth. That's for sure. We're so very thankful for Enagic